What is going on, guys? CWpoke here, back with a brand new video. Pokemon Sun and Moon's release date is approaching rapidly, and we've begun to learn about several new Pokemon, new attacks, new abilities, and more. But shockingly, one of the biggest mechanics introduced in Gen 6's X and Y titles hasn't been shown yet: Mega Evolution. Breathing new life into older Pokemon, Mega Evolutions are an amazing way to spice up designs, and I'm a huge fan of them myself. I've already done a couple of other videos showing Mega Evolution concept art that I'd like to see in Sun and Moon, so be sure to watch those videos after this one if you're interested. But this episode is a little different. This time I will be showcasing 10 mythical and legendary Pokemon that I want to see gain Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Also, as a quick reminder, this video doubles as a showcase of many talented artists and Pokemon fans, so all of their work will be linked down below. So if you enjoy the artwork, be sure to show them some support directly. And lastly, before we begin, I want to know, what legendary or mythical Pokemon do you want to get a Mega Evolution? Be sure to type your answer in the comments down below. And now, let's jump straight into my Pokemon Sun and Moon countdown. First up on today's list goes to Sinnoh's legendary Heatran. When Heatran was first shown in Diamond and Pearl, I honestly really didn't like its design. He seemed like a final evolution that was also unfinished. I mean, his tail looks like it either fell off or the designers just kinda gave up on it. But after seeing how useful he's been in the VGC circuit, he quickly became a noteworthy Pokemon for me. There were several Mega Evolution concepts I saw for Heatran, but this one in particular was one of my favorites. Heatran's typing are both reinforced in this design, with the black metal and Inferno shooting down his back, plus it looks like he's finally starting to get his tail back. This Mega Evolution design also seems like it could possibly be a Primal reversion, a Mega-like feature that was introduced in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but only for Kyogre and Groudon. It would be cool to see a few more Pokemon like Heatran gain Primals instead of Megas. Moving up to number 9 goes to one of my favorite grass types out there, Virizion. With its grass and fighting types and high speed, Virizion makes for a pretty interesting mixed attacker, but sadly it's a little too average at its job. A Mega Evolution such as this one looks incredible, and it stays true to Virizion's original design while making it feel a bit more powerful. Looking like it boosts its speed and attacking stats sky high, a Mega Virizion could leave other Pokemon fearing its entrance in battle. Number 8 is actually our first mythical Pokemon on this list, Unova's singing Meloetta. Using the power of her voice, Meloetta is a pretty unique mythical, being able to use the move Relic Song in combat to change forms, and this Mega Evolution could add to that variety of forms. I love how it built off of the Aria form to look like Meloetta is a performer, and on top of that, this design seems like Meloetta could see a boost to nearly all of her stats, making her a bulkier offensive powerhouse. But the thing with Meloetta is she still is the pirouette form, and that's what got me thinking. There's already Pokemon with multiple Mega Evolutions, but there isn't a Mega that changes depending on what form the Pokemon is in. This could be a pretty cool opportunity to actually give Meloetta 2 separate Megas, and whichever one Meloetta goes into would be based on what form Meloetta is in while the trainer decides to Mega Evolve. It was hard to find Mega designs clearly based off of her pirouette form, but this concept art looks a bit more offensive and could possibly suit Mega Meloetta while in her normal and fighting form. Next up at number 7 goes to a Johto favorite, Suicune. This water type serves as the mascot for Pokemon Crystal, and I think it deserves to see a new form. This Mega Suicune art looks pretty intimidating, and I love the idea. It's simple yet stronger, like a Mega design should be. On top of that, I feel like Suicune could possibly benefit from an Ice typing to power up those moves like Icy Wind, Ice Beam, and Blizzard, although the gained Ice weaknesses would be a bit rough, so I'm not sure how I feel about that, but either way, this design, especially with the cold white stretches coming off of it, seemed like it could warrant that new dual typing. It'd also be great to see Mega Suicune ditch the pressure ability and gain something a bit more useful. I did say the design looked intimidating, so maybe Intimidate would work, but then I remembered my dilemma with the Ice typing. Maybe I could keep its sole Water type and gain a new ability that gives it the same type attack bonus on Ice type moves as well. Then it wouldn't carry the burden of gaining an Ice typing. For number 6, I decided to pick another member of a legendary trio, but this time it was one of Sinnoh's Fairy Trio. Out of all these guys, Mesprit has always been my favorite, and I found this particular Mega design to be really cool. One of the biggest critiques of the Fairy Trio is that they actually didn't gain a Fairy typing after the introduction in Generation 6, so instead a Mega Evolution like this one could work, because it definitely looks like a Fairy and Psychic Pokemon. This design is also kinda neat because I thought the heart-shaped tail looked similar to the design of a character in the fighting game Blaze Blue. Platinum the Trinity is one of those over-the-top adorable anime characters, and her heart-shaped weapon looks kinda like Mega Mesprit's tail. Where am I going with this? Well, absolutely nowhere, but it was just a random thought. Halfway through the list, number 5 goes to one of the most powerful Pokemon in existence, Arceus. This powerful mythical Pokemon is claimed to be the originator of all Pokemon, and has the impressive ability to change its type depending on whatever play Arceus is holding. Being one of the original Pokemon, I think it's safe to say a Mega Arceus has the potential to look downright incredible, and there were many artists who seemed to agree. Sorting through tons of amazing designs, this is the one that I had to go with. It builds off of Arceus' design without looking too over the top and still manages to look like one of the most powerful Pokemon. There was one thing I kept thinking about though. If Mega Arceus would require a Mega Stone to evolve, it would no longer be able to hold the plate items, meaning it'd probably gain a new ability to maintain that type change effect. So my question to you guys is, what kind of ability would you give a Mega Arceus? Feel free to come up with your own ideas and type them in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. Number 4 goes to the Unova Mythical Victini. This victorious Pokemon is pretty unique, being the first Pokemon in the Unova Dex compared to the last like most Legendaries and Mythicals. Looking for designs, this one really stood out to me. I like how dark this idea for a Mega Victini looks, and it really seems a bit more serious. The darker design also makes me think that maybe it could scrap the Fire Psychic typing and shift over to a Fire Dark, possibly gaining a new signature Dark type move to help it take advantage of the shift in typings. Next up at the number 3 spot, I went with Regice, one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. I've always liked water and ice elements in games and other fictional stories, so Regice has always stood out to me since I was a kid. The problem is, I never really liked using Regice competitively since it's more of a stalling type Pokemon and I'm not really a fan of that playstyle. So when I found this Mega Evolution idea, I was really excited because it seems like it would sacrifice a little bit of that crazy bulk and become a faster, more offensive threat. Sacrificing some of that 200 special defense to further boost both Regice's attacking stats and speed stat would be pretty handy. Also, this Mega Regice design has those bits of yellow on it, which makes me think it looks like it'd gain an electric typing, which could be pretty incredible since there's only one other electric ice type out there, and Regice gets access to pretty strong electric type moves, further buffing its damage output. With the look of this Regice, it seems like it could possibly gain Levitate as an ability too, which would help with that new electric typing without gaining any new weaknesses. With only 2 spots left, I decided that number 2 would go to Johto's mythical legendary Celebi. This grass psychic type is adorable and one of my favorite mythicals. This time traveling Pokemon has been one of the most sought after mythicals, and giving it a Mega Evolution would be awesome. I went with this design because it stays true to Celebi's design and typing, but adds some elements that match the time theme that Celebi has. Dialga is the other Pokemon heavily related to the concept of time, and the added features on Mega Celebi reflect that. I also like the fact that the artist added the blue crest on Celebi's chest because it matches Dialga's, further showing the related natures. And lastly, to top off this list at number 1, I decided to go with 2 Pokemon for this one, Xerneas and Yveltal. This legendary duo represent the cover legendaries for X and Y, and have proven to be incredibly strong Pokemon, especially in the 2016 VGC format. Being such new and already elaborately designed Pokemon, it was hard to find designs for these two, and I actually hadn't planned on putting them on this list. But then I saw this Fakemon art that actually was meant to be a fake leak. The idea behind these 2 designs were supposedly new forms in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that was actually why I decided to include them. Some people theorize that Kalos and Alola will be heavily related, and I already went into some depth about that in a theory, but I think it would be really cool if there were actually Megas for Xerneas and Yveltal that reflected the theme of Sun and Moon. Mega Xerneas' Megastone could be a Sun exclusive, with a design that looks significantly related to the Sun, and Yveltal could be a Moon exclusive to match its moon-like appearance. This would be a very similar idea to the X and Y exclusive Megastones with Charizard and Mewtwo getting different Megas for each game, only this time both Pokemon's Megas would reflect the different titles instead. What started off as a hoax has me hoping that Game Freak will actually do something similar in the upcoming games. And that about wraps up my top 10 Pokemon Sun and Moon Mega Evolution wish list. I want to know, what was your favorite Mega on this list? Be sure to type in the comments. I love reading your guys' discussion on each video's topic. As I conclude, I also want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to check out some other recent videos, be sure to click on the annotations. Thank you once again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out!